We're searching all around Idaho and beyond for the most amazing people, places, and destinations we can find. I'm Travis Culver, and this is Love Where You Live.
We stop by Big Judd's and try their famous massive burgers.
We just took this one back and weighed it without the plate, and it was 3.8 pounds.
Idaho isn't well known for its wine yet, but Ron Bittner at Bittner Vineyards is trying to change that.
He explained to me that day on why I had a world-class site for Chardonnay, and I looked at Bill and I said, "That's cool, Bill, but what's Chardonnay?" You know, because I.
And we're back with David Manuel, learning how he became a world-famous bronze artist.
See, the title of this piece is "The Spirit of Washington, Then and Now."
Ron Bittner is, well, not just the owner, right? Owner, founder, brain behind the entire operation of Bittner Vineyards. How long have you been doing this?
Since we planted the vineyard starting in 1981.
Why? Why did you decide that? You know what I mean? Like, it's assumed you just do a vineyard, but why? What was that inspiration?
Not even into the vineyard wine drinking thing. I found this property in 1979, bought it for the view.
Oh, yeah. I'd buy it for but the vineyards weren't here, right?
None of that. 1979, Sims family was finishing up building San Chapelle.
Okay.
Dick Sims was moving the family into planting vineyards out here. They're very diversified farmers, and I give full credit to Dick Sims, probably starting this wine industry in Idaho with his earlier plantings. The first winemaker, Bill Broach for San Chapelle, was building his house same time I was, 1980. He came up here one day, and this was all tumbleweeds, all of it out through here, and weedy patches. And I was bemoaning the fact that, what am I going to do? I bought it for the view, but there's nothing here but weeds. And he explained to me that day on why I had a world-class site for Chardonnay. And I looked at Bill and I said, "That's cool, Bill, but what's Chardonnay?" You know, because
What's Chardonnay?
Not really into growing wine grapes yet, but he explained to me what it takes to have a world-class wine region in the world. And with wine grapes, especially here in Idaho, because of our elevation, just under 2,700 feet, we are literally high desert, high elevation vineyards. So we can have a cold frost late in the spring, early in the fall. You lose the leaves, you're not going to make the fruit flavors you need to have in world-class wine grapes. And he said what happens out here along the Snake River is you got the south-facing slope, the cold air comes in, you start to freeze hard in the valley by the middle of October, but the cold air drifts away down to the Snake River, and typically you won't lose your leaves until the end of October, which is true. So we started planting Chardonnay and Riesling in 1981, along with that big block that the Sims family planted out there, and have been having fun with it ever since. I'm not a viticulturist. I knew nothing about wine. I loved growing the grapes. I actually have a PhD in entomology. I'm a bee biologist. I've been a bee biologist for almost 40 years. But working with bees, working in the vineyards, it's been awesome. 1995, I was working in Australia with bees. I got a phone call, left a message on my recorder there, and this voice on the other end said, this is Greg Koenig, and I want to build a winery in Sunny Slope, Idaho. I want to make wine grapes out there, and would love to visit with you about that. So I got home in 1995, went down, saw Greg, and he said he was going to build a winery, which he did at the end of the road there, and wanted to buy wine grapes from me that year. And we started this long relationship of 21 years together out here on the slope. And we refer to Greg as our retirement plan because he started making wines for us and has never made a bad wine. That's been fortunate for us. So in the major wine regions of the world, and especially here in the Northwest, people still say wine, Idaho, made from potatoes. You know, we're in the first Muppet movie and they picked on us.
After the break, Ron gives us a tour of his vineyard.
There's nothing quite like a good burger, but at Big Judd's, we think a great burger is even better. That's why when you come to either Big Judd's location in the Treasure Valley, you'll get a made-from-scratch burger made from the best local beef and the freshest local ingredients we could find. Whether you order a hamburger, a mushroom burger, or the Eat Till You Drop Big Judd special, we promise it'll be made just for you, served piping hot and ready to enjoy. Serving custom burgers 6 days a week, we're family-owned and located near your family, with a location in Boise and our newest location in Meridian just off Eagle Road.
Welcome back to Love Where You Live. I'm Travis Culver here in the beautiful wine region of Idaho. Now this region is known as Sunny Slope. It's actually still a part of the city of Caldwell, but it's an area of Idaho where individuals like Ron Bittner, who owns this vineyard that I'm in right now, are working feverishly and passionately to create wines that make Idaho a place second to none in the world for its signature red and white wines. So can you tell anything by looking at them, just visually, or do you need to taste them? Yeah.
Yeah, they're going from a dark green. Once they start taking on this pale golden hue, like this, they're getting close just from the
Look
colors.
how little those are. Like, is that the size they're going to be when you actually harvest?
Yeah, you know, the workers will come along and they'll prune right up here. So we do everything by hand for our grapes. Some grapes are machine harvested, but our workers know how to color sort, and they'll leave they won't pick these. They'll just pick the nicest, you know, full ripe grapes.
So let me ask you another question about these two. This gives, I think, an idea what it takes to make a bottle of wine as well. Because I think you go to the store and you buy normal grapes. And you know, the normal grapes are like quarter size or whatever. And you think that's the same kind of grapes they're using to make wine, but it's not.
Now, most wine grapes are very small. Not all of them, but you know, taste one. So I mean, they're sweet. But wine grapes have big seeds in them, so
You have to
you
kind
cut
of
the
chew
juice
it.
off, but you're not going to swallow them because of the seeds that are inside. But they get very sweet.
Oh, they're delicious. They're absolutely delicious.
And that's what makes wine. You're converting sunlight in through the leaves into sugar in the grapes.
And
then it goes to the winery, they're processed, you're adding a yeast that breaks down the sugars into alcohol. And then, so depending on the style of wine you want to make, you can have very high sugars, low alcohols, or you can have higher alcohols and low sugars in them. But it's this whole process of converting sunlight into wine is why our region is unique, because there's no sunlight conversion without green leaves. Didn't have a clue in 1981 the difference between reds and whites. So, you know,
you've learned a little bit in 30
I've
years.
learned, but I've also been very serendipitous in working with wine grapes, because I absolutely know nothing about them when I started. And I'm not a wine connoisseur. I know my wines, I know flavors. My wife has a better palate than me. She picks out all these nuanced flavors of black pepper and
Oh my goodness.
but no, it's been fun. It's been a ride for us, you know.
We're now headed back to Hot Lake Springs in La Grande, Oregon to meet with David Manuel to learn how he became a world-famous bronze artist, and he shows us his latest art piece. Might be his last.
My dad is an onion farmer in Walla Walla. You know, I'm Italian, my mother's French-Canadian. And, well, my mother swore that she was not going to have me turn into an onion farmer because she had to work out there in it. And here she could be an artist if she wanted to. But she had to work out in the onion field with earwigs crawling down her back and everything, you know. And so, you know, I wasn't out there very much because my mother, though she was out working in the onion field, she would have me downstairs finishing a painting. And my dad, oh my God, you know, he'd come, where's my son at? Why come Dave isn't out there helping me? All the other Italian kids are out there and they're all asking where Dave's at, you know. So here it was, my mother was pushing my art, and my dad thought it was foolishness and thought I should be working out in the onion field alongside my mother, pulling onions.
Tell me, what is this story?
See, the title of this piece is the spirit of Washington then and now. We still have the spirit of Washington. And this is one of the two anchors. I have a photo of it. One of the two anchors that was on the USS Constitution, of which he named after the Constitution. And so what he is doing, he's having his horse pressed down on that anchor, making sure it doesn't go anywhere. See the mud on the hooves, all that, and he's just making sure that anchor doesn't go anywhere. But what he's doing is this 50-star flag is the present time. George Washington is getting ready to stick that 50-star battle flag in the ground right here.
But how many months does this sculpture represent?
This one here about 5 months.
My gosh.
Yeah.
And you can see, I mean, there's just so much, David, there's so much detail. Like I'm looking at, you can see the stars on the one side of the flag. How did you do those? How did you do those stars so perfectly?
Well, just freehand. I mean, just,
You did those freehand?
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't use a stamp of some kind?
No. And
You have
so
got to be
just
kidding
made
me.
sure they all had 5 points, and they, you notice too that they all line up with each other just like they are in a real flag. It's the spirit of Washington. He's still here. He's still here, his spirit. And we need to remember that. And so that's why he's carrying that 50-star flag.
Obviously, you put so much passion. Thank you,
You
for
bet.
showing us.
All
Thank you for
right.
your time.
I appreciate
Thank
your
you for
time
your passion
and
for
your
this
interest.
country
Yeah.
and
good.
for its history.
Yeah.
You're one of a kind, man.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Big Judd's Burgers has built a reputation in the Treasure Valley for their huge burgers. After the break, we visit the original location in Archer, Idaho, and learn how this one little small burger joint spread across Idaho and is now famous here in Boise.
Well, like it or not, winter is approaching, and one of the things that we all hear about is that we're supposed to unhook our hoses. I'm here with Michael Kuhn. He owns Treasure Valley Remodel and Restoration. We all hear that, but I think we're all under this impression like, yeah, it's not really that important, or maybe we just unhook them and we think we're good. Is that really true? Like, is there something else we should be considering?
Well, the big thing is making sure that you don't just turn off and leave your hose hooked up.
Okay.
So you need to make sure that you're always unhooking your hose so that they will not freeze.
And that's because there could be water in the hose. that could-
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so what happens is you turn your water spigot off, and on a freeze-proof hose bib, the water actually comes back out of the hose and down out of the hole. But the valve is actually way back in the beginning.
Okay.
So this area is supposed to be empty, and that's why it's freeze-proof. If you have a hose hooked up to it, the water can't drain out, and so then you still have water in here.
So if you've got one of these and you're like, I just don't know if I can trust it, or maybe even one of those that's a little bit older, is that something you can do yourself, or do you need to call a professional?
Yeah,
for
this
that?
is not really a homeowner project. This is a professional. You need to call a plumber. These cost between $30 and $50. Most plumbers charge $150 to $250 to install them, depending on the complications.
But that's nothing compared to a $20,000 damage bill, right?
Exactly.
To learn more on tips like this and other great things to keep your home and your family safe from our friends at Treasure Valley Remodel and Restoration, visit lovewhereyoulivetv.com.
Welcome back to Love Where You Live. We're in Archer, Idaho, hanging out with Chris and his older brother Judd, who founded the now famous Big Judd's Burger Restaurant, famous for their amazing shakes, fries, and of course, their massive burgers.
I'd never worked in a restaurant before we opened here. My wife had worked in a restaurant. She had experience as a waitress and a cook a little bit, but I had no experience. I didn't have a clue what I was doing.
So you'd never worked a
Never
grill.
worked a grill.
But you're like, by golly, let's buy a restaurant.
That's exactly. Exactly. So you can imagine when I tried to pitch that idea to my family that, hey, I'm going to drop out of school and start a restaurant in Archer. Horrified would be maybe even too light of a word.
They thought you were out of your mind.
Thought I was out of my mind. So did everybody that I tried to get money from to start up. It was almost impossible to get capital.
Right.
So I got as many credit cards as I could. We had to borrow like $500 from my wife's, from my in-laws, to get the food for the first, so we could open.
Right.
And for some cash for the cash register. We had done some remodeling we worked on it for a few months and opened in August of '93. So yeah, it was, when we started, it was just us and a couple local kids that worked for us. But yeah, the first burger I cooked, I was shaking so bad, I had no clue what I was doing. And so I fired up the grill and just kind of guessed at what temperature to set everything at. And we didn't even really have a practice run until the day we opened.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I was totally unprepared. So the first month, luckily, was pretty slow, which was good. It took a while for us to kind of figure out, you know, kind of a rhythm.
To get yourself settled in a little bit.
Yep, get settled in.
So what inspired the Big Judd?
I served a mission in San Bernardino, California. While I was there was a place that all the missionaries went to where they served a great big burger. And I thought, if I'm going to open a restaurant in the middle of nowhere, I need to have something to bring people out here. You know, number one, I like big food. Number two, I've got to have something memorable. There's got to be a reason to drive to Archer. Sure. You don't just drive here. Yeah. There's nothing to do here. So I was thinking, you know, we could maybe do that big burger thing, and so I got the idea there, and then brought it here and gave it a shot, and it
seemed to work for you.
Seemed to work out pretty good.
You've got some good attention.
Yep. Yeah, we did.
So how did this guy get involved? I mean, because your little brother, 8, 9 years younger. I mean, that's, in a lot of ways, that's a generation gap.
Right.
You know, how did you come to work together?
The little brother was in here doing dishes and messing around really from the get-go. I was still in high school. I was a junior in high school. I graduated in '95. So I think possibly his first waitress was my girlfriend at the time, and now my wife. The Big Judd thing, when we moved to Boise, really caught on for my business partner and I, and that was the avenue I wanted to go. I wanted expansion and to really grow the brand and the name and that type of thing. And so I don't know where we get that from, but it's definitely in our blood for some reason. So it wasn't a fallback. It wasn't we can't do anything else.
Right.
Let's open a restaurant. It was a drive. For sure.
Cool. Let's try it somewhere else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of spreading and growing places, Big Judd's started in Archer, which is backwards from what I think a lot of people would think. You know, you start a big city, go to a small city. This did vice versa. Well, now Big Judd's is in Boise. They just opened a new location in Meridian. And we're going to go check that out, including this guy's crazy enough to let me in the kitchen. So we're going to see how that goes next.
There's nothing quite like a good burger, but at Big Judd's, we think a great burger is even better. That's why when you come to either Big Judd's location in the Treasure Valley, you'll get a made-from-scratch burger made from the best local beef and the freshest local ingredients we could find. Whether you order a hamburger, a mushroom burger, or the Eat Till You Drop Big Judd special, we promise it'll be made just for you, served piping hot and ready to enjoy. Serving custom burgers 6 days a week, we're family-owned and located near your family, with a location in Boise and our newest location in Meridian just off Eagle Road.
Hey, welcome back to Love Where You Live. I'm Travis Culver, and we are here in beautiful downtown Meridian at the newest location now of Big Judd's. We're here today to actually see how they make these incredible burgers. Let's go give it a shot. Oh my gosh. In my whole life, and I am a burger connoisseur, let me just tell you, I have never seen a spread quite like this. Now, Wes is here with me. Wes is one of the co-owners of Big Judd's, one of the cooks extraordinaire. You've been back here busting it to make these. But the real story, the insanity of this place, this is insanity. How much does this thing weigh? This is the double Judd.
We just took this one back and weighed it without the plate, and it was 3.8 pounds.
Without the plate.
Without the plate. So this is the one that you bring in and you have 4 people split, unless you are really hungry or just insane and like to kill yourself off, because this hurts.
Gosh.
This hurts when you're done trying to eat this.
It hurts to look at.
Yeah.
Wes, it hurts to look at. And here's the thing about Big Judd's. They have a competition. I guess that's not the right word for it. It's
challenge.
Like a challenge,
Yes.
right? You have the Double Judd's Challenge.
Yes.
If you can come in here and you can eat this whole burger, you get it for free.
Yes.
But beware, it's not just the burger. Because what do you bring out with it?
We bring out
large fries.
This is our large fry.
And these are like thick cut
These are
fries.
thick cut, fresh cut.
See those real quick. This is legit. Those are hand cut. They have a machine. We're going to show you this machine. They have a machine they like quadruple bolt to the wall so it doesn't come off. This comes with it, right?
And this is about 1.5 pounds of fries.
Okay, okay.
You have to do burger, fry, and your soda.
Oh my gosh.
And
So-
it is 30 minutes. You can't get up from the table. And then for the single guy, you get your picture on the wall. The double guy, you get your meal for free. You get a free T-shirt, and you get to be on the double wall.
So you can't even stand up and like shake it down or anything. Like
No,
you gotta
you-
stay there.
And here's your drink. We don't do small drinks here either. That's 32 ounces.
My gosh.
That's a meal in itself.
This right here is the double jug challenge. So are we gonna try some of these?
Yes.
Is that what I hear?
Yeah, I say.
How does one even start to, like I can get my head around this one, Wes.
Okay.
How do you even, I mean like this, how do you start?
Okay.
Show me, oh master, oh great one. This is a burger. Restaurants of Idaho, take note. That's a burger. All right, so I just want to show you for a second here. That's incredible. Look at that. And that's one.
That's one quarter.
One patty.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna have to save one. I'm gonna have to save some of this for the guys filming, because otherwise they're never gonna come out with me again. Here we go. Oh, I'm gonna pregame here a little bit. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, Wes. You know what? I have had your standard burger, whatever we want to call that, probably 5 or 6 times at least. That is even better.
That is.
I think you have one of the best burgers in the entire state, and that is even better.
Thank you.
And I'm a fry sauce geek, so the fact that there is fry sauce on this burger, oh, eyes to the back of the head good. And the mushroom, this burger will ruin fast food for you in every right way. This burger is so hot that you have to pace yourself because it's so fresh and so hot off that grill that you can't just like totally dive in. Like if you're gonna try the double jug challenge, you had better be prepared to have that soda really close by. You know why? Because that burger is gonna be so hot, you're gonna have to cool that bad boy right back down. It is that good. That's incredible, man. My hat is off to you. Seriously,
Thank you.
That is one heck of a burger.
Thank you very much.
cow.
I've been coming to Big Judd's for about 10 years, and you know, it's really about the people and the service and the quality of food. When you love what you do, it shows in the products and the service that you provide. So, you know, the people here are more like family than you know, just people working a job. So
the wait staff, some of them that have worked here for a while, they know what I want to order as soon as they see me, so they don't even write it down anymore. So.
Excellent. And I like the fact that everything comes on it. You don't have to, you know, add more stuff. Everything's there.
Big Judd special every time.
Do you really?
Yeah, pretty much. If I don't eat it all, I bring it home.
We went to one Big Judd's up in Rexburg, Idaho.
Archer, the original.
Yeah. That was our first Big Judd.
Well, that's it for this time on Love Where You Live. If you want to know more about any of the destinations we featured, maybe you have a place you think we should visit, or you want to pick up your own Love Where You Live gear, stop by lovewhereyoulivetv.com, and we'll see you next time.